na inihain nila Lisa Largosa Masa et al. Laban kay Respondent President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Malinaw sa akin na ang reklamo ay sufficient in substance. Batay sa pamantayan ng prima facie sufficiency. Linawin natin, hindi pa natin hahatulan ang Pangulo. Ang tanong lamang ngayon ay ito, kung mapapatunayang totoo ba ang aligasyon, may nagawang impeachable offense ba ang Pangulo? Ang sagot, oo. Ang reklamo ay hindi puro opinyon o konklusyon. May malinaw, tiyak at verifikableng mga katotohanan. Isang malinaw na halimbawa, ang malubhang kapabayaan ng Pangulo sa pagpayag na salaulain ang pambansang budget ng kanyang mga kaalyado. Daan-daang bilyong piso ayon mismo sa reklamo. Pinayagan ang insertions, diversions at manipulasyon. At sa kabila nito, nilagdaan at ipinatupad ang paglalabas ng mga pondong ito. Ayon sa reklamo, pinahintulutan at nilaglaan ng Pangulo ang paglalabas ng bilyong pisong unprogrammed appropriations, mga pondong walang tiyak na pinanggagalingan na ginamit umano sa ghost projects, substandard infrastructure projects, at maanumalyang flood control. Hindi ito simpleng pagkukulang. Ito ay systematic acts na tuwirang pumapasok sa betrayal of public trust. Ang reklamo rin ay malinaw na nagsasaad na pinayagan ng Pangulo ang paggamit at pagdivert ng pondo mula sa PhilHealth, PDIC at Foreign Assisted Projects Appropriations na nagdulot ng malalaking pagkaantala sa mga flagship projects ng ating bansa. Metro Manila Subway, PNR Elevated Rail at iba pa. Ang epekto nito, bilyong-bilyong pisong nawala dahil sa commitment fees, penalties at price escalation. Ito ay tunay na perang nawala, tunay na oportunidad na nasayang at tunay na pasaning ipinapataw sa mamamayang Pilipino. Ang reklamo ay malinaw na sumasagot sa mga batayang tanong. Sino ang gumawa? Ang Pangulo. Ano ang ginawa? Pinayagan at nilagdaan ng budget, manipulation at anomalous releases. Kailan? 2023, 2024 at 2025 GAA. Paano? Sa pag-aproba ng releases at kabiguang pigilan ang diversion ng pondo. Higit sa lahat, may direktang ugnayan ang mga gawain ito sa impeachable offense na betrayal of public trust. Ang mga aligasyon ay grabe. Tinatamaan ang public interest, sinisira ang constitutional order at winawasak ang tiwala ng mamamayan sa pamahalaan. Kung mapapatunayang totoo ang mga ito, may nagawang impeachable offense ang Pangulo. Iyan lang ang dapat nating pagpasyahan sa yugtong ito. Dapat bigyan ng pagkakataon ang mga nagrereklamo na magharap ng mga ebidensya, magsumite ng mga sworn statements at mapatunayan ang kanilang mga aligasyon. Kasabay nito, dapat ding bigyan ng pagkakataon ng Pangulo na ipagtanggol niya ang kanyang sarili. Ito ay hindi pag-uusig. Ito ay due process. Ito ay hustisya para sa nagrereklamo, para sa Pangulo, at higit sa lahat, para sa mamamayang Pilipino na may karapatang malaman, pinabayaan ba? May ginawa bang kasalanan? Pinagnakawan ba tayo? Kapag pinatay ang investigasyon, kung pipigilan ng komiting ito ang pag-usad ng investigasyon, ang magiging imahe ng Kamara ay may pinagtatakpan. Lalo na't maraming mambabatas ang di umano'y nakinabang. Maraming distrito ang biglang nagkaroon ng mga bilyong-bilyong alokasyon. At marami sa mga ito ay napunta sa mga flood control projects. Kung pipigilan natin ito, baka tayo mismo ay husgahan ng bayan bilang kasabwat sa pagtatakip sa katotohanan. Lalo pang magpapabagsak sa tiwala sa gobyerno, magpapahina ng ekonomiya, magpapalayas ng investors, magpapawala ng trabaho at magpapalalim ng kahirapan. At sa susunod na tagulan, sa bawat baha, sa bawat dilubyo, sa bawat buhay na malalagas, tayo ang sisingilin ng mamamayan. Madam Chair, hindi natin dapat katakutan ang katotohanan. Ang dapat nating katakutan ay ang pagtatakip dito. Payagan nating umusad ang investigasyon, hindi para sa Pangulo, hindi para sa atin, kundi para ipagtanggol ang konstitusyon ng Republika. Maraming salamat po.
Madam Chair. Thank you, Honorable Eriza. Before we proceed, please let the chair read the three specific grounds for impeachment. First, under the act of, first act of betrayal of public trust, institutionalizing systemic corruption through the BBM parametric formula of allocables.
Yeah, she had to clarify.
Second act of betrayal of public trust, abuse of discretionary power over unprogrammed appropriations. And third act of betrayal of public trust, direct personal involvement in budgetary insertions and kickback schemes. For uniformity, since we deliberate on the sufficiency in substance, with respect to the De Jesus complaint per ground, we will be following the same system. So we are reminding the members to please confine the manifestation on the first ground first, and that is institutionalizing systemic corruption through the BBM parametric formula of allocables. That is for the guidance of the members. The Honorable Zamora.
Pwede ka nang...
Madam Chair, if I may make my manifestation as regards the entire complaint. Yesterday, it was made clear that for an impeachment complaint to be declared sufficient in substance, the recital of facts should constitute the impeachable offense charged. It is clear that we need to show the ultimate facts or the overt acts of the President in relation to the various schemes he allegedly perpetrated. The second complaint shows three different schemes. In brief, they are institutionalizing systemic corruption through the BBM parametric formula, abuse of discretionary power as regards unprogrammed appropriations, and direct personal involvement in kickbacks. These three, in fact, are interconnected. It is all about the flood control scheme. I don't want to belabor the point, Madam Chair. It is clear from the complaint that the President did not do any overt act that will show that he directed these three schemes. In the first place, it was not the President who created the BBM parametric formula of the DPWH. Having an imperfect policy direction is not an impeachable offense. Second, that the Supreme Court struck down the provision relating to PhilHealth funds does not make the President primarily liable for such. The connection to corruption is highly speculative. Finally, that the President allegedly has a direct personal involvement is not clear from the allegations or borne out from the records. We should not tolerate the use of hearsay allegations, videos that are not attested to, or fake news. The Honorable De Lima yesterday repeatedly said that there should be a nexus between the specific acts and the impeachable offense charged, and I fully agree. Accusations are not factual allegations. A lot of what is written are mere speculations or conjectures arising from hearsay and worse, even double hearsay testimonies, just to connect the President to the charges. To say that the office of the President has become the command center of a criminal enterprise is not only unfounded, but is also a mere dramatic rhetoric. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Next, we recognize the Honorable Garbin.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, may I also be recognized later on?
Honorable Garbin, then Honorable Gonzales, then Honorable Abante, one after the other. Thank you.
Madam Chair, also, this representation, I've been raising my hands early on.
Okay, let me repeat. Honorable Garbin, and then Honorable De Lima, Vice Chair Dumogan, Honorable Gonzales, and then Honorable Abante. And then Honorable Rodriguez. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you. You may proceed, Honorable Garbin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the first ground, the BBM parametric formula as an institutionalization of corruption. The core allegations of the complainant is that the DPWH approach or the baseline balance manage allegedly shows priorities of leaders to override technical allocations and branding it BBM, and it proves as a presidential corruption framework. Let me state, Madam Chair, that this is not sufficient in substance. Number one, a planning allocation formula is not illegal on its face. Government budgeting necessarily
So that I could be able to somehow answer some of the comments he made, no? But first of all, I'd like to commend the chairman of the Committee on Justice. Ako, gusto ko nang i-close to eh. Pero the thing is, the chairman of the Committee on Justice would like to, yung himayin po niya ang kasong ito. Oo. Para hindi naman tayo sabihin ng taong bayan na minamadali po natin ito. So I really would like to commend the chairman of the Committee on Justice in being fair in doing this. Hindi ko po kinukuha yung suporta niya. Ha? Ngayon, ito. Before I go to the sufficiency of substance, hindi po ako abogado. Pero nagbabasa rin po ako eh. Di ba? Ito. There are some controlling doctrines and legal basis. Yan legal basis, no? When the issue concerns sufficiency in substance. Ayan. Number one, an impeachment complaint, sa paniniwala ko, is sufficient in substance when it alleges specific ultimate facts. Ayan, ang pagkakaalam ko. Bilang nandito po ako sa Kongreso for the past 15 years. Okay? Which if assumed true, constitute an impeachment offense. For example, like culpable violation of the Constitution, or treason, or bribery, graft and corruption, or other high crimes, or betrayal of public trust. Number two, I'm not trying to lecture you on law. Ito lang po yung narinig ko, nabasa ko, naintindihan ko. Alright? The following must be present. For example, like identification of the respondent as an impeachable officer. In-identify niya ang Pangulo ng Pilipinas, for example, o VP or Supreme Court Justice, whatever it is, or specific acts or omissions alleged. Not conclusions, like betrayal of public trust is standing alone. Ayan. Number three, a clear link between the acts and a constitutional impeachable ground. Facts that show how the acts amount to, for example, bribery, graft, culpable violation of the Constitution, nangyari. Number four, the time, the place, the context, and the participation. Who did what? When? Where? How? Enough for the respondent to understand the charge and for the committee to assess whether the ground is facially present. Ayan. Number five, not mere general allegations. Kaya po ako nung isang araw, medyo nag-walk out na kasi puro mere allegations na rinig ko eh. Hindi naman pinapaliwanag sa atin kung ano yung sufficient inform. Alright. Ito ngayon, not mere general allegations. Now, we can accept allegations here. Pero it must be based on evidence. Hindi lang po allegation po ito. The court has stressed. Ito nalaman ko lang, naintindihan ko. The court has stressed that, I quote, ang sabi, mere allegation is not evidence. End of quote. Now, the House substance requirement is met only if there is, as I understand, and I quote, a recital of facts constituting the offense charge and determinative of the jurisdiction of the committee. Ayan. Yan po ang sabi sa Gutierrez versus House of Representatives Committee on Justice. Oh. At LGR number 193459, February 15, 2011. Parang na akong abogado rito. Nagsasite na ako ng jurisprudence. Ha? O ito. O. Number 4, when corruption, for example, is invoked as an impeachment ground, it, as I would quote someone else who is a legal luminary, saying, must be supported by more than bare allegations. End of quote. An impeachment, ito must be exercised with, yun po yung sinabi ng kaibigan ko, si Congressman Rizzi, due process. Oh. Ito pong ating ginagawa ngayon, in fairness with the chairman of the Committee on Justice, na sa akin po dapat nang tapusin ito Due process po ang kanyang sinasabi dito. And what? And fairness. Sa akin po, hindi na fair sa amin Fair na po doon sa mga endorsers ng impeachment process na ito Fair na po yan sa inyo O ito, gusto ko na pong banggitin yung issue number 1, no? Issue number 1. Yung tinatawag nating BBM parametric formula na binanggit ng dating Secretary Bonoan. Di ba? Yun ang sabi niya sa akin po, hindi sufficient in substance po ito and should be dismissed as the initiatory state for failure to what? To plead facts constituting an impeachable offense as an act or omission of the respondent. Hindi naman po na ipaliwanag yung tinatawag nating BBM parametric formula. Whether it be explained by the former secretary or even explained by the complainants themselves. Oo, na nakalagay po dito. Ito po sabi nila, an indictment of a policy framework. Na gusto ko pong sabihin dito, sufficiency in substance turns out whether the complaint recites facts constituting the charge offense. Not rhetoric, not labels, or even policy disagreement. Dapat ito po ay talagang facts. O yun lang po muna. Yun po yung una kong gusto sabihin at meron pang kasunod yan. At gusto ko ipangako sa ating Madam Chair, hindi po ako magwo-walk out this time.
Thank you for your passionate
Madam Chair.
manifestation.